Previously on Breaking Point.
The tension's building between these two. Let's see what happens here.
Here we go! Ackerman's going for it! Down the inside of the hairpin, he's bashed his teammate off the track!
Mum, cancel the TV subscription. The entertainment is right here.
Come off it.
He wanted your lot to sign Ricardo, you know. Ask anyone.
What do you mean?
The paddock talks, mate. He tried to stop them from signing you. Didn't want to play babysitter.
Oh, he did he?
You want my advice? Prove him wrong. Chin up.
Prove him wrong, Devin said. Prove him wrong. Well, I guess we're going to have to after tangling a little bit too much with our older teammate, Casper Ackerman. But guys, welcome back to another episode of F1 2021 Breaking Point, the brand new story mode on F1 2021. Last time out, it was part number 1 and the first in-game hour of Breaking Point, and we were only allowed to upload that on that day, and so that's why it's been a fair few days since that part 1, but now the full embargo has been lifted and we're allowed to upload whatever we want. So from now on, you'll be getting some consistent Breaking Point episodes along with my team Crimo that you may have seen that was uploaded earlier today on the channel from now on, and daily, so look out for that for sure. Get subscribed if you're new around here for daily videos such as that. But let's get into this then. We left it off, there with Devin Butler telling us about apparently Ackerman not wanting us to be signed foul for Romeo. They wanted Ricardo apparently, or just, rumours about, him not wanting us at the team. And it's time now for us to maybe prove him wrong, as Devin said. And who knows, maybe Devin was actually giving some good advice there by letting us know that little tidbit that we weren't aware of before about Ackerman. But we've got Aiden's mum calling us right now, so you can't ignore your mum for too long. So let's answer the phone and see what she has to say.
Hey, Ma.
Hello, love. I saw the race and thought I'd give you a call.
And why's that?
Just to say well done, like I always do.
Oh, right.
I saw what happened in the race with Casper. Can't believe he wasn't penalized. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
And Casper, what's he said about it?
Nothing. He wouldn't speak to me.
Well, maybe keep trying. It can't hurt to clear the air. Just remember what your grandmother always used to say. The fights that can't be won are the fights you fight the hardest.
I'm not even sure that makes sense.
Just whatever's going on, don't let it get to you. And call me later, okay?
Will do.
You know what? I think they've really done a really nice job on this game with the characters and the voice acting and everything like that. Because Aiden's mum's genuinely very, she's a lovely little character. You can tell, with the way she sounds, very, very caring about her son, and coming out with a bang of phrases. The fights that you can't win are the ones that you fight the hardest. Wow, deep stuff there. But, yeah, maybe we do need to try and clear the air, but it doesn't really help that literally in the last cutscene we saw, Casper was so despondent. He was literally Raikkonen vibes, just wouldn't want to talk to us, and then just left. Like, you can't really, I don't know what he wants us to do. I don't know how you break the ice and clear the air when you just can't talk to the guy, but whatever. But we've got a heads up then about the briefing. It's pushed back by 20 minutes. It's calm, and a little bump between you and Casper. Got quite a few people concerned. Don't think Frederick's too impressed. So we've got some harsh words maybe in the debrief. Okay, that's fine. You've got to start working together. There's a lot of stake here. Well, we've tried to clear the air. Obviously we as Aiden made the mistake at Australia. We tried to say sorry, and then Casper came back at us in China. So it's kind of 1 for 1. Hopefully now that we're kind of even effectively, maybe there's a clean slate, but I don't know. But we've got an update also from our personal assistant, which is a little subplot here in the emails going on. Got a couple of things I'd like to fire over. Restaurants confirmed for tonight. Okay, decent. Mum's birthday next week. You asked me to remind you. And Colin Perry keeps contacting me to see if you want an interview, but we're not keen apparently for whatever reason. So I don't know if it's like a nosy interviewee that maybe you don't want to have a bad answer with. But I didn't really speak about it too much in episode 1 because there was so much going on. But I actually really rate the little details that they've had so far in this game with the laptop stuff, the email. Like if you go through and actually bother to read them, you get like a nice little, just extra details and subplot to Aiden's life and the life of a Formula 1 driver driver and such. And just little Easter eggs as well, like the F1 2020 logo, the game logo at the bottom of his laptop there. So he is also a fan of the F1 game. But we now go to 2 months later, to the French Grand Prix. Okay, Chapter 3. Recent series of incidents with his teammate, Casper Akerman, both on and off track, have marred the start of Aiden Jackson's rookie F1 season. With the French Grand Prix coming up, Jackson is keen to find the form that brought him so much success in F2. Okay, French Grand Prix. Not usually that exciting, but let's hope it is in this story. Let's go.
It's a great day for racing here at Le Castellet, and the drivers are making their final preparations on the grid. Let's hope for a thrilling contest then here at the French Grand Prix. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners, 6 left and 9 right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The two halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the Chicane Nord. And watch out for the drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. Here we are then at the Circuit Paul Ricard in France, the 10th race of the 2020 Formula One season. And the standings are starting to take some kind of shape, Ant.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your big three jostling for position at the top, so no surprises there. A little less predictable in the midfield, though you could make an argument for Alfa Romeo underperforming somewhat.
The two Alfa Romeo drivers denying each other points, perhaps. Well, it's all to race for, and there's a lot of the season left ahead of us. So let's see how it all pans out. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Norris, Vettel, Sainz and Lance Stroll, Ocon, Ackerman, Devon Butler and Albon, Gasly, Grosjean, George Russell and Aiden Jackson, Magnussen and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, we've not quite had the start of the season we'd hoped for, but we've got a chance to make up some ground today. Try to keep your nose clean and show us what you've got. Good luck, Aiden.
Okay, so it looks like we've actually got a very kind of normal F1 2021 race here now in the story mode. We're literally starting off like we usually would be, like in a Grand Prix mode or career mode setting, with a strategy screen. We've got a full 25% race then to do at France. Okay, I'm a bit surprised because I actually thought they were just going to keep, putting us in the middle of races and giving us scenarios. But this is quite cool, so we can really carve out what happens in this race. And more importantly, I guess we can try and do exactly what, Butler was recommending us to do, is prove Casper wrong and, go out there and beat him today. But our main objective as we go to 5 red lights to this French Grand Prix, then 13 laps ahead of us, is to beat both McLaren and Renault drivers. So that is the goal, and Casper beating him will just be an added bonus, and also Devon Butler, I guess, on the left-hand side, because he's there in the AlphaTauri. We're up into P14 already from 18th place. Oh, a little bit of contact with Casper Akerman already into turn 1, and Butler's there as well. So all three of us close together on circuit, trying to go to the inside, but Butler defends really well and allows Alexander Albon to go around the outside. Oh, Albon and Butler making contact there. That's not going to be great for Butler. He's trying to aim for a Red Bull seat later in the future. But we're going to get through on Albon then, struggling in the Red Bull as he did back in 2020. Remember, this at the moment is the 2020 season in the story we're in. Obviously, we started off in F2 2019, and now we're in 2020, and we'll be moving towards 2021 in the back end of this story, I'm assuming. And this the first portion is this season right now, getting to grips with Formula One, obviously. And so we're in P14, settling in, defending against Albon. Can we try and get past Butler though into the last sector maybe on this first lap, and then go on chasing after Ocon, who's the first Renault I can see on the ladder there in P11. So we've actually got to do a fair bit of racing, because I think both McLarens and both Renaults are in the top 10. So we've got to try and aim for a very lofty position here. But we go and make a beautiful little move on the outside of Devon Butler then. on the inside to the outside of that right, and then the left-hander at the end of Sector 3. Now we're catching up to Ackerman, but remember, he's not the target. It is those Renaults and the McLaren, so I'm looking at Ocon actually just up the road, but it's a good exit off turn 2. Ackerman really slow. Here we go, bit of ERS usage there. It's going to be very close to the inside. He's going to squeeze as we make contact on the left front, and we're going to do not exactly what he did to us at China, but, you know, got the elbow out and, you know, kind of let him know that we are there, and we're not going to get bullied off that corner anymore. So we're not having an issue with him this race. That's not part of the script, but that is definitely what's happened there, as we're taking matters into our own hands to get revenge on behalf of Aiden whilst we're driving as him, as we now try and go on Ocon, trying to be a bit clever with the way we're placing our car to get a good exit, but we make a bit of contact with Ocon as he's so slow off that corner. We couldn't actually switch it from left to right, and in the end he actually defends very well. Tried to be a bit clever there, going a little bit slower into the entry of turns 1 and 2 to open up the corner and the exit to kind of get that switch, but the Renault was able just to park it in a very awkward position, so instead you have to be patient and wait till the main straight. But here we go now. DRS is going to be available. We're already on the ERS on the exit of the corner, but now in 8th gear, not using it, just the DRS will be needed to go punching past Ocon there, turning in and just making sure we don't completely pinch him out there, and we're up into P11, and it's only lap number 3, so making good progress, but we've still got, I think, both McLarens, because I can see both orange dots, and then Ricciardo is even further up the road. I think Ricciardo is like, maybe, I'm trying to count here on the minimap, I think he's like P5. So we've got to go a long way here to beat both these teams. So it's actually maybe quite a difficult challenge, actually, you know, as we go down the inside into the last bend to get Stroll in the Racing Point car here in 2020. Obviously becomes Aston Martin later on in the story, but we now catch up to a big train tail-ended by Norris and led by Ricciardo. So we have to get through all these cars. The 2 McLarens, both Ferraris here. We're going to get Orlando here straight away, though. Flat out right-hander. Bit of ERS usage to help us out. And we're up into P9 now on lap number 4. But look at this train. This is massive. This is so France. So you just can't overtake, or the AI can't overtake each other here. And they're finding it very difficult. So on Sebastian Vettel now. Slow in a straight line. That Ferrari 2020, the Alfa Romeo, giving it a good run for its money, just like it did in real life, and round the outside of turn 1. Nice move on Seb, and we can launch off and try and chase after Carlos Sainz straight away on the back straight. But you know what, I think he's going to try a move on his future teammate Leclerc, you know, at some point. I think if he's not careful, we might just get him before he gets the opportunity, because he's definitely looking at Leclerc. But we're going to try and catch him napping if we can. Here we are. ERS usage. Go on the left-hand side. He's going to gain a bit on Leclerc, but we're going to overtake him before he gets the chance to close up to the Ferrari. Flat-out commitment needed. He's still there on the inside. Bit of ERS usage needed to try and push past. But Sainz, fair play to him. Really defends quite well, actually. Gave him a much bigger fight than I thought he would do. And we're literally pushing him through the next corner, though, as we get a good exit. And now the awkward kind of off-camber left-hander before then the slight right into the long left before the final bend. Can we make a diving move on Sainz? We might need to, but no, we're a little bit too far away from him. But we do make a little move on the outside. He actually hits the curb on the inside, Sainz does, and so he slows up, actually. So he actually got a really poor exit. So we're able to open up. But look at how quick that McLaren is in a straight line, coming back at him, coming back at us, even with DRS open. But obviously we didn't use too much ERS there, and that's how powerful it can be on this year's game. If you're not careful, the AI will mince you with ERS. But we're having a really ding-dong scrap then with Sainz. We squeeze him to the inside, and we can get that move done finally up into P7. But that was actually a really nice little battle with Sainz, so like over a lap there nearly. And he was very aggressive at some points there, defending and placing his car correctly. But now we've got past him, we can chase after Leclerc, and then really the man we're looking at is 2 places ahead of him. We've got, I think that's Perez, and then you've got Ricciardo in the Renault. But we've now got our first round of pit stops, and we're on lap number 6, so just over halfway done then of this Grand Prix. We go on to lap number 7. And we are yet to pit. Leclerc is yet to pit as well. We both continue on along with Bottas. But me and Leclerc are the 2 lead midfielders now, still out on circuit on the softs. And the reason why is because I felt like we'd get Leclerc before the pit stop window as we come through on the outside. It's a lovely little move there on the Ferrari. And the Ferrari not doing too well here around Paul Ricard. But we're up into P2 then. And so yeah, I stayed out because I just thought we'd get Leclerc before we make the pit stop. And then hopefully we're going to come out and be somewhere near Ricard, obviously. But into the pit lane entry, Leclerc makes a move on me and tries to overtake me in the entry. I've not seen an AI be that punchy. We're trying to make a move into a pit lane entry there, but that's maybe just how poor I was maybe on the pit entry itself, to be fair to Leclerc and the game. But our teammate's in as well, so Ackerman's in on the same lap as me, so that's awkward. So I'm going to hold him up a little bit. So not intentional, but you know what? It's worked out pretty well if I hold up Casper here. Bit of karma if he gets held up. Although saying about karma, maybe some karma for me is staying out to put me back behind Sainz and Vettel as well. But Leclerc's done that as well, so you can just see that really was just staying up for one lap. Actually really hurt us a lot, and the undercut was very powerful as both of us lost the positions to Sainz and Vettel. So we have to re-overtake these two and then close back up to what is going to be Sergio Perez, I'm pretty sure, in the lead Racing Point car, and then Ricciardo in what is at the moment, as I count, P4. So we're aiming for P4 in this race because that's what the goal is of beating McLaren and Renault. So very lofty heights and a lot further ahead than Ackerman for sure. So we're definitely proving him wrong. But right now at the moment, watching Sainz v Vettel with a bucket of popcorn and trying to find a way through. Vettel a little bit wide there, go to the inside, and there was a bit of locking up there, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was a bit worried about some sort of incident or crash happening. But we're all good, and we're going to close up to Sainz. A little bit of ERS left over in the tank, so can we use some here mid-corner just to boost us and go for the dive? No, not quite. Thought better of it, because if I did, and I thought about it again there, but Sainz just cuts us up and places the car so well once again. So really, really nice scrap then with this Spaniard for most of this race that we've at least been with him on circuit. I've not had a point where we've been together on circuit and not battling it out. Here we go for the late lunge, and that's the move I wanted to make in the earlier stint, but we couldn't quite do it. But this time we have. And we're to the inside and up into P6. We now move on towards lap number 9 and then 10 subsequently as we try and catch up now to Sergio Perez. Bit of a twitch on the rear end, but the sun is out and out here in Paul Ricard. DRS open and overtake mode engaged halfway down that straight, and then we turn it off and we just let the DRS do its thing. We're past Perez and up into P5, and the next one along is the final target, Daniel Ricciardo. We have to overtake him if we want to try and complete the objective of this part of the story. Chapter number 3. Chasing after Ricciardo, proving Casper Ackerman wrong and showing we've got what it takes here in Formula 1 to get some big points in the Alfa Romeo versus our rivals in the midfield. We close up on Ricciardo, slow on the exit. That same one, they've been so poor all race long. Can't quite make the move to the inside because I thought better of it. I could have gone for the move there, but I just thought he was going to pinch us in, maybe like what we had before. So instead, going to be patient and get the move done round the outside. This on the final lap of the Grand Prix. So once again, we've left it late to get the objective, but we've done it on the last lap. And, we're best of the rest because the podium there, I think it's Valtteri Bottas, must be surely winning the race. Hamilton second, Verstappen third. Best of the rest, though, here at France. And very much proving everyone wrong, but especially Casper Ackerman, and even, to be fair, Devin Butler. As much as he was playing Mr. Nice Guy in the last cutscene and, giving us the advice and the heads up about the rumours, we still want to thrash him as well, equally, so we beat both of them thoroughly.
Business as usual for the big three, but a bit of a reshuffle in the midfield here in France.
That's certainly much better from Alfa Romeo. Frankly, they should be in the mix more often. On a good day, they're as good as anyone in that midfield pack.
And they've certainly proved it today.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. So, Aiden, it's a great result for you here today. The team must be delighted with a solid points finish. How are you feeling?
So it's our first Meet the Press event then in Breaking Point. Slightly different camera angle here, over the shoulder on Aiden there. In terms of the question though, we're going to say it's a solid result, but there's always room for improvement. We could go for even more maybe.
Yeah, I'm good. It's a solid result, but there's always room for improvement. I'm sure we'll be looking at all the data from today and working out how we can build on it for the rest of the season.
Well, it's such a great result, especially since it's your first season in Formula 1. Would you say you found your feet now since the jump to F1?
It was a cracking result, and I think we're going to go with the left-hand side option. The result today shows going to handle an F1 car just as well as an F2 one. That's very much, proving ourselves. That's a very proving yourself sort of phrase, no matter what people say. People being Casper and maybe Devin sometimes.
I reckon so. I'd say the result today shows I can handle an F1 car just as well as an F2 one, no matter what people say. I think the team would agree with me.
So there's no current tensions within the team? We've all seen that you and Casper have locked horns so far this season. Is that something that's now behind you?
Since Casper gave us the cold shoulder, I'm not going to go with no comment, because that's kind of, you know, backing out of it. I'm going to say if there's still a problem between us, it's not from me, because we tried to apologize to him after China, and he wanted nothing of it. So that's on him now for not, you know, dealing with it. So I'm going to say it's not me, it's just him now.
Well, that's up to Casper. Maybe he thinks I'm yet to prove myself. Who knows? Hopefully today's gone some way to doing that. If there is still a problem between us, it's not from me.
Appreciate your time.
I think we did a pretty decent job there in our first press event in Breaking Point, to be honest. But Chapter 3, there we go. Jackson put in a solid performance at the French Grand Prix to firmly cement Alfa Romeo as a contender in the crowded midfield pack of the F1 grid, much to the delight of the team's management and fans. The French Grand Prix post-race. So, solid stuff there. Very much taking on what Devin said, even though it annoys me to say it. It was good advice and was, you know, good of Devin to kind of say that. But, oh, Mum's calling us again. He just wants to call us all the time.
Hey, Ma.
Hello, love. Just calling to say well done, as usual. You okay?
Thanks, Mum. Yeah, I'm good. Real good. I think I delivered today.
I thought so. And I think the neighbors probably did too. I couldn't stop shouting.
Oh, not again.
I'm so proud of you, Aiden.
Hey, it's Silverstone soon.
So does that mean you'll be home for a few days?
Probably. I'll try and get over for a day or two, either side of race weekend.
You know, Silverstone was always your dad's favorite track.
I know. You're still coming to the race, right?
Do you really think I'd miss out on the VIP treatment? Of course I'm coming. I just wish it wasn't on my own, you know?
Yeah, I know, but I'll be there. And I can't wait to see you.
Me too. Anyway, I won't keep you. I imagine you want to go and celebrate. Well done again. Love you.
Love you too, Mum. Speak soon.
Oh man, so I guess maybe Aiden's dad passed away or something in previous years, because that was a bit sad. That was quite touching. Well, the home Grand Prix next. Yeah, hopefully we can do Aiden's mum proud at his home race, and we'll bring her to the paddock and give her the full VIP treatment there. But yeah, touching stuff. That's got me in the feels a bit. The way she was like, you know, just a shame that it's on my own. Just yeah. Well, we'll put on a good show for her hopefully, and have a good home Grand Prix. But we've got some emails now. Hey Aiden, tough race out there today, but seriously well done, finishing in the points. Nice one. Meant to say the debrief about something. We'll just move past that. Brian Doyle, about the interview with Claire. Just want to be more careful when discussing how things are with Casper, because no things are tricky, but putting it all on Casper raises eyebrows and gets the press talking. Okay, so we're getting a slap on the wrist from Brian about the way we answered the question there, about it's all on him. It's not too good for the image of the team, so we need to be a bit more diplomatic next time. I don't know if it's possible to get in, like, hot water or whatever, but, okay, we need to watch out for that a little bit with it, and maybe not put all the blame on Casper and be a bit more, as Brian says, diplomatic is the word. And if you forgot to mention, Trackside a couple of weeks ago, I had a great time doing it. Colin's the same guy that we said we didn't want to do an interview with, and Brian just given him our email address, and he should say, you can thank me later. Well, Brian, I think there was a reason why Aiden didn't want to maybe do the interview, and you've now just given him our email. Good. Thank you for that. Love the work from you. Good stuff. But anyway, moving away from random, weird, creepy interview people, chapter number 4 then. With Alfa Romeo continuing to show signs of improvement, the F1 world turned its eyes to Silverstone. A real test for rookie Aiden Jackson as he returns home with the hopes of impressing the crowd and earning their support at the historic circuit. 2 weeks later at the British Grand Prix.
Hello?
Hello, mate.
Who is this?
Oh, come on, keep up. It's Devon.
Butler?
The very same.
How did you get this number?
It doesn't really matter. Listen. I just wanted to pass on a bit of friendly advice.
Oh.
Now, it's always tricky racing on your home track. The pressure, all the fans watching, it's a nightmare.
Right, yeah, I imagine it is.
But if you keep your cool, you stay focused, you will get through it, okay? Just imagine it's a different circuit on the other side of the planet. Then, when your race does fall apart, it'll be a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, great advice.
I knew you'd think so. Anyway, good luck out there today. Just try and make it to the end, eh? Ta-ta!
Yeah, good luck to you too. I'll see you later.
He actually pisses me off so much. That ending bit. Try not to try and make it to the end, yeah? Ta-ta. Yeah, he's just so punchable. He's just so, and he was that sarcasm and the lull of false sense of security. Like, oh, he's going to give us some advice, is he? And then it's about not making it to the end, or oh, when you do crash, then it's fine. Oh God. Okay. We had enough of being like, oh, Devon's doing us a favour by telling us about Akerman. I'm now back in the firm camp of, I hate the guy. No, he's not giving us good advice. I just now want to beat him as much as I want to beat Casper Akerman, to be honest. And hopefully we can, being the home Grand Prix. But, yeah, wasn't expecting that random call. I didn't really know who that was going to be for the unknown caller. But I guess, yeah, Devon is full of surprises. But we've got some emails then ahead of the British Grand Prix. Just a quick head up. A couple of the magazines have booked in casual interviews with you post-race. Clearly because it's your home circuit and Silverstone's 70th. Trying to pass on to your PA, but couldn't find anywhere. Sent her the details, thought it'd be way just so we're covered. Okay, good luck out there today. And remember, just stay focused. Yeah, enjoy every second, but stay focused. Yeah, we will. We will, Brian. Don't worry about that. We will be fully focused in beating Devon and Akerman as well, both of them. There's no room for prisoners. But weather forecast going to be dry, so that's a surprise, to be honest, being the British Grand Prix. And then our PA has said, just letting you know that she's here and being well looked after. I'm with your mum. Okay, cool. Oh, sweet. Oh, nice one. Send me a message after the race. I'll bring her around to the paddock. Drive safe. See, that's awesome. I like the little, backstory going on here. We're getting our mum to the Grand Prix and stuff. Our PA sorting it. That's cool. And then, oh God, here's Colin Perry. Colin Perry, got your email address from Brian Doyle. Thanks, Brian. Thanks a lot. Colin Perry from Trackside. He wants an interview. He's had one with Brian and Casper. So he wants to do one with us. I feel like there's a reason why this is coming up on an email. Like surely maybe if we ever do this interview, it might be like bad. Like we might say something we might regret or something for the story or something like that. I don't know. But I feel like there's a reason why they're showing it to us in the emails. I'm not too sure. But yeah. So at some point, maybe Colin's going to badger us enough that we do an interview. But we're going to move on then to the heart of Chapter 4 here then. Capitalizing on a fantastic Q3. Oh, okay. Aiden Jackson is enjoying one of his finest career performances when a front right puncher threatens to ruin his chances of a top 5 finish with friends and family in the stands and the crowd behind him. Jackson sets his sights on salvaging what he can from the race. British Grand Prix mid-race. So it looks like we're going to do some damage control then. God, Aiden can't get any good luck, just like I can't, or couldn't get in my home race on F1 2020 here. He's now getting on F1 2021. Right, let's dive in and see what we can do then about this puncher.
Tyres are gone.
Copy, Aiden. Box.
Copy.
Let's just minimise the damage.
7 laps to go. We're on the medium tyre and we've got a puncher on the front right, so that must mean we're going on to a set of soft tyres then to the end of this one. So we're doing an alternative strategy and we got through into Q3 then on the mediums, I guess. So we did very well, but now the tyre is completely gone off the wall, the side wall, and the whole carcass is completely broken down. Obviously, we know that there's a new damage model now in the game for punches and the kind of delamination and all that stuff, and so that is a very good example of it in full force here. So very, very cool to see, but not so much for our performance and where we are now, because lap 7 on to 8 then, I think, or no, it's lap 7 now. We're lap 6 on to 7, and we're down to, well, now P9. We were running pretty high, and now with the pit stop onto soft tyres, and we're down to P10, P11, maybe even more, because there's still Albon to go. Oh no, there's so many more cars. Akerman, it's also one of the slowest pit lanes on the calendar as well, and we're down to P16. Wow, that is painful. That is so painful. But our objective then, updated from before, it's now finish in the points-paying positions, 10th place or above. So we've got some work to do, but also at the same time, we're on fresh, soft tyres, and everyone else is on medium. So we should be pretty quick and try and limit the damage of the puncher, well, as much as you can do, really. I mean, we're not going to get back to where we were. in that lofty high. That'll be a miracle and a half, but we can try at least to get some points then in this race for Aiden. Maybe come back and beat Ackerman because he's ahead of us as we now make a very punchy move on Pierre Gasly to the inside of the AlphaTauri. You know, also I must add, it's so, you know, it's just fitting that that Devin Butler in this version of Breaking Point of ours, that he's been put in the AlphaTauri team. Not only one because, as I said in the last episode, on F1 2019, when we had Butler in the career mode, he ended up in Red Bull in that final season, so it's almost like it's canon in the story that he's, you know, AlphaTauri to Red Bull, quite funny enough on my channel, but also the fact that he's alongside Gasly, my personal kind of rival from the F1 games of previous years. They're both in the same team, so we've got double trouble in the AlphaTauri team. But we overtook Ricciardo with ease then in the Renault, up into P14, closing up to Vettel, and then Ackerman on the mediums compound tyre. So let's hope we can try and close up and overtake our teammate at least and come back through for being the lead man at our home Grand Prix in the team of Alfa Romeo. Purple first sector, closing up onto Vettel through Magnussen Beckett's DRS. Going to be available, going to use plenty of overtake mode. Vettel might try and close up a little bit on Casper, but can we try and make the move before he does on our teammate? Can't quite make it in that straight, but we'll be patient and just wait for it to come to us. Here we go. Vettel defensive on the inside. We go diving round on the outside line to the inside for the next right-hander, and we're up into P13 then. Good exit on through the last corner. Can we get a good run into Village maybe as we set the fast lap of the Grand Prix? So we are the fastest man out here. I think we're the only man actually as it stands on the soft compound. Everyone's either on hards or mediums. And we've only got 4 laps, though, to go to get P10. Where is P10? We've got Albon, P11. So P10. Oh, P10 would be Butler. I think that's the AlphaTauri. How poetic. Butler's going to be the man we need to overtake for P10 then, get back in the points. But here we go on Ackerman. He went a little bit defensive there on the inside. Casper did, but we're going to get him to the inside as we go in towards the left field. No, he's still there. He's still giving us a good run. He dives to the inside there. We're going to go wide a little bit. Lock up on the front right tyre to give him the space and give him some respect that he maybe doesn't deserve from us. Maybe, I don't know, however you want to kind of see it. But we overtake him eventually then and get the job done on the exit of left field towards the old turn 1. And now we've got 2.7 the gap to Albon to push it ahead and try and catch up to him. And then it is Devin Butler is the next man along that we're looking to overtake for P10. So very, very fitting. DRS open. Albon looking to overtake the AlphaTauri. Maybe he goes for the move there. We're going to see Albon v Butler. Red Bull v AlphaTauri. But now can we try and get in the middle of this and maybe catch one of them napping? Butler. There we go. Close jinx to the right. We're going to squeeze Devin to the inside. Go for the move on Albon. Doesn't quite work. Oh, Butler makes contact with Albon. We get out of the way. We're going to get pinched in by those two drivers. We backed out of that, but Butler survives and still is there in P11. So here we go now on Devin. Can we go to the inside? Bit of ERS usage. Inside of turn 1. No, not quite. Didn't get the nose in because I could just see us spinning out on his inside there. But here we go. Lunge to the inside of Village. This is a cracking battle with Devin as he is still there on the inside. We go for this switchback move right to left, but he blocks us and he makes contact with us. We're going to squeeze him out, and Butler getting a bit feisty, and eventually we get the move done. But what a personal battle that became with Butler. You could feel the tension there, and it got a bit over the line with some contact made on the exit there. We tried to go for the switch, and he just simply parked it on the apex and then let us switch from right to left. But now here we are then released. I mean, go after Albon. We fake to the left, go to right on the outside. Easy does it. Roll the car through. And we're going to get up into P10. And that is going to be 1 point at the home Grand Prix. But it's going to be better than nothing. Like I said, it's not exactly making up for, you know, being where we were and then getting the PUNCTURE, but at least we're going to get something. We were quite close to actually catching Perez, but not quite. So it's going to be P10 then, and a decent enough recovery at the home race.
What a race for young Aiden Jackson. If he can keep this up, he's got a long, promising career in front of him.
Absolutely. He'll have been gutted about that puncture. Imagine what kind of challenge he'd have been able to make without it. You've got to give it to him though. He gritted his teeth and pulled it back. Great driving.
Now whisper it quietly, but things seem to be on the up for Alfa Romeo's Aiden Jackson. One to watch. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. and they certainly deserve it.
So, towards the end of Chapter 4 then, despite suffering a puncture mid-race, Jackson manages to overcome the odds, securing brilliant points finish for Alfa Romeo at the British Grand Prix post-race. So, yeah, in terms of proving ourselves, I mean, we did it in France, and we've done it again here at Silverstone, I think. You know, got unlucky, but, you know, you gotta work with what you got, and what we got was a puncture, and not too bad to P10, not too bad to P10. And this time, it's not actually our mum calling us this time, it's Brian.
Brian,
Well, someone's the hot topic in the press room.
what do you mean?
Oh, come on. There's no need to be so modest.
What are you on about, Brian?
Oh, after that puncture, everyone thought you'd lost it. But to pull it back and into the points, it's all anyone's talking about.
Well, I'm glad the press are starting to take notice.
Oh, get used to it. They put a bunch of interviews in your diary for tomorrow. It's why I was calling.
Right, thanks for letting me know.
So don't celebrate too hard tonight, eh?
Yeah, all right, Brian. Don't worry. I'm only going to see my mum.
Right. Well, each to their own.
See you later, Brian.
The way he went, all right, he should. he wasn't impressed. He wasn't impressed. But I guess that's just Aiden's character. Aiden definitely seems like a vanilla kind of man. Very much not me. Like, I would definitely go and party and have a good time. But he's like, I'll have a glass of milk, go back home to my mum, and just have a nice time at home, basically. But yeah, that is going to be the end then of this chapter 4. And the end of this episode, because I think it works well to do like 2 chapters an episode, because it's a decent length, I feel, 30-ish to 40 minutes, depending on how, much action there is. Frigid Vasseur, complimenting the team there, and then our PA just letting her know that she's going to bring our mum around, just ping me a message, and great race today. So decent stuff, a very nice homely vibe, and now we can just go home and kick up our feet and get our mum to cook us dinner, I guess. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, then hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.